Hello! Hello there!
Welcome back, guys!
Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. This is Trooper Archives. You may need to see our identification. I am Ace. I am now the learner.
Hi, I am Gabe, and now I am the master. This is our third episode of A New Hope. Alright, so third. It runs quick. Yeah.
Excellent. Apart from this episode, of course, it's our third episode.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check out the previous episodes 1 and 2 of this series. We also have other videos like our Star Wars shorts on TikTok and our reaction video on Andor.
That is true. Check that out. By the way, just to plug it out, our podcasts is now also available on Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Pocket Casts, Deezer, Listen Notes, Player FM, and Podcast Index.
Whoa!
Yep,
That's a lot of channels.
we are out there. But if you still prefer to watch us, this broadcast, we are can watch us on YouTube. Anyways, we'll move on to the next part, which is on this day in Star Wars. All right. So on this day in Star Wars, in 2003, Hayden Christensen dons the dark armor of Darth Vader for his first take as the fully transformed Sith Lord on the set of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Wow.
So, what do you think? Yep, check that out. Pretty good. And next up in 2015, Star Wars Rebels, the complete season 1 set is released on Blu-ray. So check that out.
Blu-ray,
I think
wow.
Ace needs to check that out as well because he hasn't watched it.
I have not watched a single episode of Rebels, but I hope here in Trooper Archives, I hope we get to it, and I hope that you guys are go with me on this journey. I want to get to Rebels. I really want to get to Rebels at some point. So
That's true.
Hopefully we get there. All right.
So
Okay. What
Ace,
do we
can you
got
give
next?
us a recap on the last episode?
Oh yeah. Okay, so our first episode was mainly on the intro and A New Hope's beginning, the trailer, the hype leading up to the movie, and then for our second episode we covered the crawl, some of the firsts that were used in the movie in A New Hope, and so we started out with the chase scene, of course. Right after the crawl, we head right into space with the chase scene with the diplomatic ship and the Star Destroyer, the first Star Destroyer of the Star Wars saga. So that was pretty epic.
Sure.
So we're moving through A New Hope. So bear with us, guys. It's gonna be a slog going through A New Hope. We really want to get into each scene of A New Hope. So
that's true.
What do we got next? What do we got next today?
All right. Well, we're gonna talk about that stormtrooper that went for the stun and got blasted by Leia. By Princess Leia. That was an unfortunate event.
He got the raw end of the deal there.
Yeah.
Set your taser on stun.
And then immediately dies.
Dead.
Like nothing happened. Anyways, at least they set for stun. At least we got to see our favorite
and they got Leia. They got Princess Leia with the shot. So that was a notable thing that they finally, well, at least in the first movie, a stormtrooper hit a target.
That's true. And then next up is so C-3PO and R2-D2 escapes the Tantive IV. If you don't know the name of the ship, it was Tantive IV. So what do you think about the way they escaped?
It was a bit, I don't know. Watching it back in the 80s, for the first 100 times I've seen it, it was okay. It was acceptable. Yeah, there were no life forms on board. Yeah, whatever. Just let it go. But of course, knowing what we know now, having the enriched volumes of lore that we have for Star Wars, I think guys really need to look out for droids. I mean, not having any life forms doesn't necessarily mean there's nothing there. I mean, come on, guys, due diligence. Let's go. Come on, pick up some details. Come on, guys, you can do better than that.
I think the Empire was kind of arrogant in that part. Like they were searching for something that was an object. You know, the Death Star plans. It was I think it was a disc, as we can see in Rogue One, and they should have like double checked, which they did. They sent a squad down in Tatooine after the escape of those two droids.
Yeah,
so
that's
anyways, yeah, so we are going to the first planet ever shown in Star Wars, which is Tatooine. So what do you think about Tatooine, other than it's full of sand?
Lovely vacation place. Wouldn't mind having a rest house in Tatooine. I don't know. It's desolate. I think Tatooine's probably I don't know about the ice planet of Hoth, but for Tatooine, it's just the same everywhere. Everywhere on the planet looks the same. So it's I could see why the residents of Tatooine would be acting the way they do. So it's a bit you'll know why they think the way, Watto and the Hutts. You understand why they're the way they are, because of just the environment that they have to deal with every single day.
That's true. The heat, the lawlessness, the desolate space. So did you know that Tatooine was based on two locations? It was Tunisia, a country in Africa, and some of it was shot in Death Valley National Park in California. And did you know that Sir Alec Guinness hated shooting in Tunisia? Yeah, because it was hot. Yeah, it was hot, and he was wearing robes the whole time. So he kind of had a scuffle with George about that.
That's kind of weird, considering that Alec Guinness played an Arab, or was it in Egypt? Like in one of in Lawrence of Arabia, Alec Guinness was in that movie, and they were in the desert. So maybe it was a bad experience for him shooting that movie, but that was a great movie. It was a legendary movie. So
maybe not. It was a great movie, but not maybe not so great for the actor.
Not too great for Sir Alec.
Sir Alec Guinness, Knight. Anyways, all right. This is something of a it's not really a theory, but most likely a theory in the Star Wars universe. Did you know that it was believed that Tatooine was once a backwater planet?
Backwater? Did you say water? Backwater?
Yeah. So there's
like
this
swamps?
legend. Yeah, like there's bodies of water and like lush forests. Okay, so hear me out. So
kind of like Dagobah. It's kind of like Dagobah. Is that what you're saying?
Not really. It's more like Kashyyyk, but more oceans.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. More rainforesty.
Yeah. So the Legend of Lehon, or whatever they pronounce it. So in Star Wars, there's this Legend of Lehon. It depicted that Tatooine was once covered by lush jungle and large bodies of water, and was inhabited by the Kumumga. So nobody has evidence of this race, this Kumumga. But yeah, that's the Legend of Lehon. So Tatooine wasn't always a desert planet.
That's interesting. I mean, nobody would have thought in any of the movies. Nobody would have thought that would be the case with Tatooine
at that time. But like, if you've watched The Mandalorian, did you watch The Mandalorian?
Yes,
All right.
I
Okay. Good.
watched both seasons of The
All
Mandalorian.
right. So in the Mandalorian, there was an episode with the Tusken Raiders, killing a gigantic sand creature that looks like a sea creature. You remember that?
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
So I think the big sea creatures, if this legend was true, if Tatooine was once a backwater planet, these large sea creatures survived, and they adapted
It's
to the
also,
sands.
yeah, you could also see like the skeleton where, the scenes where 3PO and R2D2 were moving across the
Yeah,
desert, and there's this long skeleton like a looks like a
yeah,
plesiosaur, you know.
yeah. True.
Um, that like it's probably the Loch Ness monster trapped in Tatooine.
Probably. I mean, if we've got the Bigfoot as Chewbacca, why not put in the Loch Ness monster in it too, right?
Okay.
Anyways, we're gonna talk about another inhabitant of Tatooine, which are the Jawas.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
what do you think about when you first saw the Jawas? Because we know that the Jawas captured our two droid heroes, C-3PO and R2D2, and they were held captive by this group of Jawas in their sandcrawler. So, what do you think about that scene?
Okay, so the Jawas back when I first watched,
Yeah,
of course at the start they were the bad guys. They shot R2D2. They tased him, and basically
true.
kidnapped him. And as the movie progresses, we'll get into it probably here in this episode or the next episode. But you feel bad for them once they die because when
Yeah, that's
3PO
true.
was just dumping their remains in the fire. So I don't know why that made me feel bad for them, considering that they're supposedly the bad guys. When I was a kid, they're bad.
Yeah, true.
But
Yeah,
I guess it establishes like the trade and commerce that they have with Uncle Owen and Luke, sort of like diminish the villainy of the Jawas. And again, it's again the setting. It's in Tatooine. People gotta do what they gotta do. It's
yeah. Business is
survival.
business.
Business is business. So yeah, so I think at first Jawas were kind of cute, but I think even the new material in the new movies, I like seeing Jawas, but I just like seeing them just for a while. I don't want to see them all the time. Like
Yeah,
I don't want to have a Star Wars movie where one of the main characters is a Jawa. I don't need Jawas in like a movie. They can be there for a scene, like in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, just one scene. You're cute. Okay, goodbye. Thank you.
I mean, true. I agree. I just want to share like a little bit of what I've experienced with Jawas. There's this Garry's Mod game in PC wherein you role play in the Star Wars universe. So whether it's the Imperial era, the Clone Wars era, or the Old Republic era. So if you know Garry's Mod, you know what I'm talking about. And there was this one event wherein a Jawa was a Sith Lord. Could you
That's crazy.
imagine a Jawa wielding a red lightsaber and just like
I don't-
mowing Jedi and clones?
how hateful would that Jawa need to be? Like what is enraging him?
Yeah, true.
I
Probably
wonder.
never got to the scavenging part. It wasn't able to salvage what you needed. Anyways, moving on. Did you ever wonder what was beneath those robes for Jawas? Like what they looked like?
Yeah, I guess when I was a kid, I used to wonder what Jawas would look like. I kind of imagined like in Dungeons and Dragons what kobolds look like.
Yeah,
That's
true.
what I sort of imagine what Jawas are. But I kind of like cared less and less as materials came in, like the new movies and the new series. I sort of cared for Jawas less and less. I mean, again, I like seeing them, but not for long. Like, yeah.
That's true. So, just briefly, originally George Lucas was supposed to showcase the Jawa, in the first movie as rodent-like creatures,
Oh,
just
okay.
like kobolds.
Mhm.
And I think in one of the books, if I'm not mistaken, they describe what a Jawa smells like. So it is like rodent-like smell.
Ooh,
They
like
don't.
wet fur. Ugh,
Yes, yeah,
nasty.
I can't imagine. And lastly, I think Jawas. There was a theory that Jawas were devolved humans that
Mm.
once lived Tatooine, but there's no supporting evidence. It's just like speculation. Anyways,
Okay.
moving on. So, what can you say about the scene where it's like an auction when the Jawa and the sandcrawler with the bunch of Jawas arrive to sell droids to Owen and Luke?
First of all, I loved the Sandcrawler. That was one of the
Yeah.
my favorite things to see back when I was a kid. I
Mhm.
still like seeing it now. It's a huge vehicle to be on sand, and it's just a pretty efficient way to get droids from across the desert.
Yeah.
So yeah. The commerce, the trading, establishing that industry in Tatooine, I really liked it, and I really liked the way it was made out to be just a regular thing. It was just that's
Mhm.
part of life. Just
Yeah.
we're buying droids and selling droids and just broken down secondhand stuff. That's what
Yeah.
that's what
True.
it is. Yeah. So
Yeah. True.
I appreciated that as part of the story and as part of the building of that world.
Yeah. I think, and in canon, like I don't know how they call a group of Jawas. They're not a tribe of Jawas, or like maybe just a group of Jawas. But yeah, they usually roll with the sandcrawler. So they use sandcrawlers so that you can see multiple like group of Jawas use sandcrawlers all the time. Um, but yeah, so what do you think about the first introduction of C3PO to because that's basically his first introduction to the movie. Like we didn't know what he was. That we didn't know how he was like an interpreter for like a million languages,
Mhm.
and he speaks binary too and Bachi.
He was
So
basically he was basically the translator for R2D2 for the
yeah,
first part of the movie,
true.
and the we only saw the R2D2 C3PO dynamic once they got on Tatooine. There wasn't
That's true.
much there wasn't much back and forth with them on the Tantive IV vessel, and it really set a nice flavor, and also you can see that 3PO wasn't a static personality because he was basically like, oh, F off R2, I don't need you. I'm going this way, you go that way. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
once they saw each other inside the sandcrawler, oh, R2D2, it is you, it is you. He was just so
I
happy.
like that. I like that scene. It's
That
like
was a
they were hours
legendary scene.
apart, and it felt like they were years apart.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it was basically a day.
yeah, true. Like a whole day, and they met at
It's just,
nighttime, and they were both captured. But yeah, thinking about that scene, it was a good thing that that red droid got it malfunctioned, right?
mhm,
Because if
mhm,
it
mhm.
didn't, like R2D2 wouldn't have gone to the possession of Luke Skywalker. So what do you think
That's
about
right.
that?
Yeah, apparently, that droid that had the bad motivator, he had a bad
Yeah,
motivator. Uh, he knew who R2D2 was. I'm not sure if this is canon, but maybe our viewers can enlighten us in the comments below. From what I hear, that R I think it's an R5 unit,
hmm,
and he intentionally blew his fuse, basically, just uh, blew his motivator out intentionally. He malfunctioned it intentionally so that R2D2 can be picked by
really?
Luke Skywalker to continue the mission, because he had a mission. He had the plans. He had the hologram, the message from Leia. So he knew how important R2D2 was, and he basically sabotaged himself so that R2D2 was the one who get picked.
Oh damn! I did not know that.
I'm
You,
again, I'm not claiming it to be canon, but maybe our viewers can
yeah,
confirm
yeah.
if it's
Please
canon.
comment down
Yeah.
below if what Ace, my former master, shares to us is true. So, um, moving on. So we get to see Owen for the first time, Luke's uncle, and Beru, his wife, for the first time in that like what do you call this? It was like a luncheon.
Yeah, yeah, it was like a midday meal. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
a midday meal. So and then what do you think about the blue milk? First of all,
Everybody's commenting on the blue. It's blueberry, Arsa dairy, blended ice cream. uh, no, yeah, it's blue milk. It's in Tatooine. I don't know. It's probably, is it bantha milk? I don't know. I don't know what it is.
maybe I
Also
don't
the
know.
food processor, Aunt Beru's food processor, where she's just dumping in things in the
Yeah,
steamer,
true.
and so yeah, they have complete stuff. I know they probably get it from like an online shopping thing
I
from
don't think
Moss
online thing
Eisley or
was
whatever. Yeah,
probably that's funny about that's this funny thing about Star Wars. I think we mentioned that in the previous episode. It's not really futuristic. There are some
yeah,
futuristic things about our own world that Star Wars doesn't have, and Star Wars has this aspect that doesn't exist in the real world. You get what I mean?
yeah. I mean,
Anyways,
looking at the house, I mean, where they
yeah,
live, it's not from the future. It's just really, really different. The
yeah,
technology is different. They have
that's true.
sand inside their house.
That's true.
There's sand inside the house. You get up in the morning. Luke wakes up in the morning, goes downstairs, has to walk across the sand and then pee somewhere, and then goes back through the sand and then back up to his room or wherever. So he has sand in
Probably.
his room now.
Yeah, true. Just like when you go to the beach, right? And when you go back to your cottage, you get sand on your feet, back on
Sand
like
everywhere.
everything, sand everywhere. Anyways, yeah, I think it was like I knew for a fact that they were just supporting characters, Owen and Beru Lars, but I think it gave Luke some sort of like a family figure in his life in the first film, because we didn't know who he was related to, who he was like in that first scene. Like it established like that Luke had a family, that he had responsibilities, that even if he wanted to go to the academy, he had to stay for another season, because they are moisture farmers. But yeah, so it kind of gave us that background for Luke. So yeah, so we'll talk about next Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So what do you think of the character? And
Well,
yeah.
you could see like when he was first introduced, he had the entrance theme right away. Oh Luke, and then
Luke!
there was, yeah, right, Luke. And then
I'll be
he had
there
his
on
own
the
music.
roof.
He
Yeah,
had
true.
his own entrance music, right? Like when
Yeah.
he was introduced, he had his own entrance music. So he's established right away as this guy is one of the lead guys.
Yeah.
He's not just a family member, like farmer, whatever. He has dreams of going away, moving out from the farm and being somewhere else. So he
Yeah, true.
has that motivation to go on an adventure. But
Yeah,
there's a but it'll be for the next episode. So I'll get back to
that's
that
true.
point.
Yeah. One last point about Luke is that he was shocked when he got the droids C-3PO and R2D2 inside. And he was shocked with how these guys were part of the rebellion or knew about the rebellion. Yeah, so
Yep.
it was established that he was interested in the Rebel Alliance and that he wanted to join. He wanted to be a part of it. He didn't want to end up being a moisture farmer his whole life. You could see the path being laid for this character in that scene. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then, should we talk about the hologram now? When he saw the pretty lady?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, he saw first time he saw a
Yeah.
really beautiful, sexy woman
From
crouching down
from another planet.
from another planet.
Yeah.
Who does not know yet that he's
Yes.
related.
Yes. Let's not spoil it.
Just started to fantasize about this woman in a hologram. I don't know whoever
Yeah.
she is.
Wherever she is, bring her back.
Who is she? She's beautiful.
Hey, bring it back, bring her back. And then R2 just cuts off in blue balls for you, Luke. if R2 can speak, I think C3PO just didn't translate that. But I think sucks for you, Luke. It's blue balls for you today.
No,
That's
no,
what
it went like this. R2D2 was showing the hologram, and then and then Luke was complaining about, show me the whole clip, show me the whole video,
Yeah.
and then R2D2 says, man, maybe if you remove my restraining bolt, and then C3PO translates,
That's
you
true.
should remove the restraining bolt, and then he'll be able to play the whole thing.
Right.
Luke proceeds to remove the said restraining bolt, boop, and R2D2 says,
That's true. You were fooled by a droid. But
sucks to
then
be
again,
you.
sucks to be you. Bye bye. When you sleep, I'm gone. I'm gonna hit the
Yeah.
twin suns. But yeah, it was a funny scene. How R2D2. We didn't know then, but apparently he had the knowledge of the Clone Wars even before that in his system still, and the Rebel Alliance up until episode 7, 8, 9. So he was a pretty knowledgeable droid. He knew all the battle tactics. He knew a lot of information. So I guess it can't fool R2D2. That's why he's so lovable. Anyways.
True.
I think that is it for our episode. All right, it kind of went longer this time, but yeah, I mean, we kind of anyways, do follow us on our YouTube channel, of course, please. Follow us on our TikTok. All right, follow us on our TikTok at Trooper Archives if you want to see, if you have a friend who wants to join the Star Wars horse. Become a Star Wars fan eventually. Let them watch our videos, our starter videos for new fans at TikTok. And please, guys, do subscribe to Trooper Archives because good soldiers follow orders. Anyways, I am Gabe.
I'm Ace, and this has been Trooper Archives. You don't need to see our identification.
Move along. Goodbye, guys.